Oldie Goldie speedrun. Okay, this is called the matchlock musket. This is also called a matchlock musket, but this one for some reason has a nickname of arquebus, even if it was not invented in Spain. But it basically works by taking a match or a fuse and sticking it into powder, which ignites the whole thing and blows the entire gun up. Yay! Shrapnel! Just kidding, it actually blows the bullet out, but hey, it doesn't work so well. Also, humidity is a thing, so nobody's going to be wanting to use this in the middle of the ocean, because guess what? Fire and gunpowder don't really love water. Okay, let's leave the matchlock era because it sucks. And then here we come with the new flintlock era. Why am I saying that? Why am I counting weapons as murder weapons as era time periods? But here basically what you do is you pull that back, you stick that forward, doom, and then a big amount of sparks comes out, which is very good because I want the sparks. The sparks is what's needed to go blow the bullet out. Let's see what caliber this thing is. Oh crap, it's 80. Now this is the American fowling piece. If you can't tell, it is also flintlock. Why? What is it used for? Oh, simple, just shoot birds and stuff. Don't worry, it's not too big of a caliber. It's 82 calibers and smooth bore. So that's not good. The bigger the caliber, the less accurate it is. But hey, everybody loves this, so this is what the American person would have. See, our legacy for being Americans has been even before America was a thing. This was from 1730, which was before America was a thing, and it's still called American. So, we've always had our guns, right? Over here we have the British carbine. Why is it called carbine, Andrew? Well, if you look up there, it's a bit shorter than all the other ones, if you can't tell. So why is it shorter? I don't really see any use with that. Well, it's simple. The use for it is because guess what? People on horses can't carry that thingy, so you have to get something shorter. But I don't really see anything good with it because you still have to like load it on horseback, and that doesn't really work so well. We need like the breech loaders and the rapiers so you can do some awesome cowboy tricks, but we don't have those right now, so let's move on. This is the British Brown Bess, aka the most famous flintlock musket of any era in the world. If you can't tell, it's Brown Bess. If you can't tell, it's British. It was used during the American Revolutionary War against America and maybe against Britain sometimes. But it basically works the same thing. Now, if you look up, it's a tad bit shortened than that thingy. So why is that? Well, it's because this is a military model and you can't have that replacing that. Like this one's shorter, easier for a soldier to carry, while this one's designed for shooting birds. This one's designed for shooting people. This is the French model Charles musket. And this is what the Americans were usually using. If you can't tell, it's a lot bigger. It's 69 calibers actually. It's more famous because guess what? You know, Americans used it against the British, and that's basically what everybody cares about these days. But yeah, that's basically what it was used. It's also French, which is the reason why it's called Charlevel. But so this gun is part of the so-called Committee of Safety musket. Why is it exactly called that? Well, it's because the design for the flintlock era is more safe, but that also means that it can't shoot properly. So this over here is the 106 Virginia Regiment musket. Why is it called that? Well, it's because it was only supplied to the 106 Virginia Regiment, and you can't tell, it's a lot smaller, 75, but it's still got a pretty big caliber. This is probably the same caliber as a small gun, as a small cannon, but yeah, still, it's a lot shorter and a lot heavier, but who cares about that? It's still pretty good, right? It even has a bayonet that is infinitely attached to it. Okay, that's not a good thing. Anyways, let's go over here. Also, something new. So if you look at the older ones, it uses like the black flints, but this one uses the lighter flints because these are easier to find. And there's a new type of metal here which allows it to work with this type of flint. Guess what? This was a huge success. This was the first US musket, the US Model 95 musket. So that's good. It's based on the French model Charleville musket, but it is a bit like the same caliber, nearly the same caliber, but a lot longer. But yeah, this is what the US military would have been using in the early years. This is a contract US model 1795 musket. Same thing as this, except this one is actually issued to the military. This one's issued to people, and this one's issued to soldiers. So yeah, it's not much of a big difference. It is a bit shorter, like 1 centimeter shorter, but hey, still it does work, and it is more suiting for the military, so that's why it's for that. 98 musket contract. So this was a newer one. It was invented by Eli Whitney, I guess. Why is Eli Whitney inventing everything? 69 caliber smoothbore. You already got the protocol, but instead in this one, it's a bit more curved and looks more like a bolt. So if you cut that off, you can like send tiny bits of ammunition and gunpowder to the enemy and all of that stuff. Maybe you can put a bomb in it, but that's highly unlikely. Now this one is pretty short. This is the first type of 95 musket. If you can't tell, no, they did not like it at all. First of all, that reinforcement thingy, it doesn't work when the explosion is happening right there. So basically, it kind of blows the entire reinforcement off, which, okay, that's not good. That's not good at all, but yeah, this is another 95 musket. At least this one doesn't explode when it's fired. This one is a contract musket. It's 74 caliber. It's still pretty big, but hey, it isn't like that one or anything. So yeah, but then we get a beautiful piece, the one that everybody's using, including civilians, but not including soldiers. Let's go to Kentucky now. You know, Kentucky has Kentucky Fried Chicken and a literal rifle named after it. This is the Pennsylvania or Kentucky rifle. People know it as the Kentucky rifle, but some of them were used in the Civil War, but they were like altered into a percussion cap system. But hey, this is very popular. It was very long, especially the long ones. But hey, now it has a 45 caliber, which is pretty good. But during the Civil War, they had to rebore it and you know, all that stuff. But yeah, this was a very, very popular gun, especially for civilians. This one is a Civil War era one, and it is altered to the flintlock system. If you can't tell, this and this are literally the same thing. They're both Kentucky rifles, except this one was used in the military, and this one's 58 caliber, see, reboard. And of course, a more usual trigger guard, and of course, percussion cap system. So this one was used against the Union, so that's not good. But over here we have another contract musket made by Eli Whitney. This one's another special model, which was made handmade, which was good, because now this one won't blow. Oh God, okay. Maybe handmade isn't so good as like the advertisement says, because I'm seeing like 50 mistakes on this. So let's just go with the machine-made stuff. Hey, look, we have an 1803 musket. This is one of the last types of US muskets before percussion cap. So this one used a smaller piece of flint and was a very usual caliber, AK-54. It did not have such a long ramrod. It wasn't too big, but hey, it doesn't work too well because guess what? Because the flint is so tiny, what it does is it breaks off immediately when it does it. So why don't I like it? I think it's clear by now. But here we have this and the Indian musket. Who used it? the Indians, I think. That's why it's called the Indian musket. Anyways, it's a lot shorter, looks a bit rough and ready. That's because it was used by Indians who were rough and ready. But hey, yeah, it was useful. It was useful. Sometimes, hopefully not. But now here we got pirate booty, because pirates can't do anything without guns and swords and stuff. So the most piratey of them all is the blunderbuss, which is basically an early shotgun. It had no caliber, because guess what you do with it? You fill it up with rocks and small bullets and like nails and like pieces of metal, and then you go pop, and then you kill 59 people in one shot. So that's basically what the blunderbuss is. Anyways, all of these are not that good. This is a third type of the 95 musket, and like, you can see a problem with this, right? It's just the breech reinforcement goes. Just kidding, guys. This is an altered one. Somebody cut that thing off. But there's only one problem. He's gonna be like, pow. How do I reload this? I don't have a ramrod. So that's not really good. Then we have another 95, a shortened one, but still manufactured. This one's a 1812 musket. And then we get even more of them. Most of them are basically just copies of the one that you saw on that other section. And then we are starting to get into the area of better stuff. Oh God, what is this? What the heck is this? Well, this is a breech loading rifle. So instead of having to like do all that stuff, it used like this cartridge. You stick it in, and then you go. So yeah, that was the first breech loader, and that's good. But the blunderbuss is still more cool, except for that one. That looks pretty weird. This is the cadet rifle, the so-called cadet rifle. Why is it called that? So this is what the soldiers in training would be armed with, not the actual gun that they would actually be using. But 1820, yeah, sure. That is an 1817, another 1817, 1822, and then we're starting to get into the flintlock. Oh, what is this? Well, this is another breech loading carbine, but this is a Hall breech loading carbine. But, you know, it's still flintlock. Oh God, is this percussion system? Who knew that the first percussion rifle, besides the Altered Kentuckys, actually were breech loaders? Just kidding, this collection's not that in order, but hey, yeah, it's awesome. It's breech loading, except for the fact that it might blow up in the face of the guy who's actually shooting it and aiming it, and I guess that's bad. Honorable mentions. Yeah, this is not a gun, but who cares? It's a hand grenade. Now, these ones at the time were not used to throw shrapnel into people. It's just to go. So this is the Whiteworth rifle. Now, this is a bit newer and was kind of used in the Civil War. But yeah, these were very accurate. They were used for snipers. And you know, the mini balls and those round balls, they don't work so well. So let's like lower the caliber to 45 and let's make it more pinpointed. And you know that rifling that makes the bullet spin? Let's make the bullet more spin with spinning bullets. Right here, you can see the pattern. Oh, it spins. 58 fencing musket. It can't shoot, it has no trigger, and it basically works with this fencing bayonet, and they basically like attach it to the barrel of the gun to have cadets train. You know, it's a bit boring. This is the new model breech loading musket. Well, it isn't really a musket because it does have rifling in it and is not like really hard to reload. But hey, it is a carbine. Well, this one is not that new. It is during the Civil War. But hey, they don't actually have any 55s. But so this is my example of it. These were pretty good, except for the fact that sometimes it blows up in the face of the user. Finally, you know those Hall breech loading rifles that I just showed? So guess what? They were rifled, so that's a good thing. But only a portion of it was rifled, so that caused some problems. For example, death, exploding guns, and gun malfunctions, which usually ended with death and exploding guns. So, oldie goldie, not so speedrun ends.